Everything that lives is designed to end. We are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death. Is this a curse? Or some kind of punishment? I often think about the God who blessed us with this cryptic puzzle, and wonder if we'll ever have the chance to kill him.
A tough subject for many, and something that very few of us are ever really taught how to properly manage is grief. Though this can come in many forms, today I speak specifically with regard to loss by death. Whether it's an accident, illness, or otherwise, the root of someone close to you passing can come from one of near infinite directions, all leading to the same conclusion: pain, hurt, loss, grief. And I'm no stranger. Honestly, I've become all too intimately acquainted in recent years. The last couple especially haven't really been the kindest. How do you manage to protect yourself from an unseen horror that can strike at any time? An assailant of joy, forever in the shadows, lurking, ready to steal away another of the ever fewer dwindling lights in our respective darkness. What can you do against the tide of grief? And how can you hope to keep yourself ashore amidst an ocean of anguish? Well, today, I can only hope that my words are a beacon for you through the storm. As far as burying a loved one goes, there's the usual thoughts: surprise, disbelief, doubt, confusion, even anger at times, depending on the surrounding circumstances. There's no one way to process it all, and there's also not a specific order that you're guaranteed to come into contact with all these emotions. But just know that eventually the grief will find you. In the meantime, what can you do to prepare? Well, first, despite the intuition that most men will have by default, I do have to encourage you to talk about it. Both your feelings and the situation itself, circumstances of the passing, how you found out, how you're doing in the moment. Playing a strong face here isn't going to do you any favors, especially if your foundation is crumbling as we speak. You owe it to yourself to be honest about this and how it's affecting you, if for no other reason than the fact that this was someone that you loved and cared about. So, don't deny your feelings now just because they're no longer here to share in them with you. That's both unfair and unkind. Second, I recommend having some artifacts, whether photos, physical mementos, whatever you can get your hands on, honestly. I'd even say reaching out to others that you've shared that connection or that relation with. The burden of grief shared between two people is only half as much weight, and the joy shared is twice the joy. If you're in a position to where you can grieve with others who also shared a connection to that loved one, you may find a kindred healing to be a very effective way to begin to reset the pieces of what feels like a broken heart. Third, and my most sacred notes on the subject, I want you, if you're able to, that is, when you're able to take some time to reflect. Think back on your experiences and memories with your recently departed loved one. I want you to collect as many of your thoughts and those fragments that you can, and I want you to document them in a journal, a notebook, it doesn't matter. Hell, in an email that you sent to yourself. Wherever you can guarantee that it persists safely. And I want you to take some time and record those memories, those moments, those experiences with them that cemented the love and the impact that they had on you. So that time can never truly wipe them from your memory or dull the clarity with which you recall them. Trust me, you'll thank me on this later. Lastly, and most personally, I want you to pick an aspect or a trait of this person. Any definitive piece or a component that ended up becoming one of the most integral or cherished parts of them. Pick one of the traits that made them so special and beloved by you, whether it's a joke they told, the way that they'd laugh, a certain fragrance that they'd wear. Obviously, you'd really know better than me in this situation. But I want you to take a piece of who they were and incorporate that into your life. Not necessarily on a daily basis, per se, but just let that aspect become one with who you are today, tomorrow, and the day after that. Allow this piece of them to find a home within you. And know that with each person that you embody that trait or that experience with in the future, that's your way of introducing them to someone you loved dearly, even though they're no longer here to be introduced personally. I find this to be a way that I choose to honor those dearest to me and keep not just their memory alive, but their very essence, their impact on life continues through me. And they continue to touch the lives of many others completely unbeknownst to them. That's how I learned to give life through grief. And I'll not feed you any lines about how they may be in a better place or that it was all a part of God's plan or that everything happens for a reason, because no. A lot of tragedies are just that, utterly and truly senseless, without explanation. And were you to try and tell me that this was according to some plan or some divine will and testament, I'd likely burn you to the ground where you stood, and everyone responsible for orchestrating such a devastating wound to me, such a horrific loss. This isn't that. This is me telling you that the hurt that you hold in your heart doesn't have to stay that way. This is me telling you that your life can go on even if it feels forever frozen in time. This is me telling you not only that one day the pain will go away or that you'll feel better, but instead, what you feel right now is proof that they once lived, and that you still do. That misery is not the default for the rest of your moments of this life, and that it is possible to in fact give life again through what was only grief, only pain, only tears. You can love again, and that you can keep them safe within your heart as long as you feel the need to. Because love never really truly leaves us. She just changes her shape, changes her name, changes her hair, so that we may not fully recognize that which ails us now was once the wind beneath our wings. I hope you heal from this. I wish you love.
Talk about bringing the battle to them. Ought to be.
Contact command. Request assistance.
No. It doesn't look like that's going to be necessary.
Oh, great.
I don't imagine that this is going to end well. The black box. It's ready.
Right.
Requesting destruction of enemy hostiles via black box reaction.
Request accepted.
Tubi, it was an honor to fight with you. Truly.
The honor was mine.